Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Wilsonville Arts and Culture Council, we are so excited to have you here with us today at Meridian UCC Church Frog Pond here in Wilsonville, Oregon. WAC is a nonprofit organization that brings enriching programming to the Wilsonville area. We are also filming today, live audience, so please make sure your phones are silenced so that we have the best video offered for our virtual performances that will be offered later in the month. We are so grateful for the video and for the sound by Lost Productions, PDX, so thank you so much for all of your work. WAC would also like to make a very special thank you to all of our sponsors this year: Argyle Square Shopping Center, Gates Family Dentistry, Bug Toast, Portland Millwork, Wilsonville Diamond, Real Estate Superheroes, Spas of Oregon, Ink and Mouse, the Otson Foundation, the Clackamas County Cultural Coalition, Regional Arts and Culture Council, and the City of Wilsonville. Without all of their help, none of this would be possible. And last but not least, we would like to thank and acknowledge that we are on the land that was inhabited by the indigenous tribes that were along the Columbia and Willamette rivers. Especially here in Wilsonville, we'd like to acknowledge the Kalapuya, whose land we are now on. So thank you for the original caretakers of our land. Without further ado, I'd like to present Wilsonville Stage.
Thank you, Janet. My name is Janet Steiger Carr. I am the director and the playwright of the piece that you will be seeing this afternoon. And it all started with this little playbook. My students at Network Charter School in Eugene some 15 years ago read two tiny little seeds entitled All the Doctors of Our Lives. They said, write us a script. So I did. And I've been doing it for the last 15 years, but what you're going to see today is a very, very special version of it, because I have the express and delighted permission of Pioneer Press to do this particular version for this particular filming. We are delighted. I have a fabulous group of actors, and without further ado, Wilsonville Stage and the Neighborhood Players Radio Theater Troupe presents All the Doctors of Our Lives.
Good evening and welcome to radio station NPR TT's special St. Olaf's Day marathon presentation of
All the Doctors of Our Lives.
Coming to you live from the veranda of historic Frog Pond Manor, nestled in the wetlands of sunny downtown Wilsonville in the heart of the beautiful Tualatin Valley. We will begin our very special St. Olaf's Day marathon programming of your favorite radio soap opera,
All the Doctors of Our Lives,
in just a moment. But first, I will remind all our loyal listeners that today's marathon is once again brought to you by Stuff. That amazing new product that's on everyone's must-have list. So go out and get some stuff today. And now, our feature presentation.
All the Doctors of Our Lives.
The ongoing story of life, love, divorce, death, jealousy, hate, degradation, squalor, antagonism, petty larceny, and downright warmth. Behind the scenes of a modern medical center. As we left Dr. Abigail Preston yesterday, we heard her say,
I love you, Dr. Mitford. Me too, Abigail. But, as you know, my sister, the famous brain surgeon, is in a coma with Pembroke's disease And even though she has been in a coma for 27 years, I must go to her now.
I see. Okay.
Meanwhile, on the 5th floor, Dr. Jarvis and Dr. Mavis Crump are facing an intense situation.
Easy now. Easy there, Dr. Jarvis. Retractor.
Retractor. Wait. Let me assist.
Oh, gladly. Just hold this steady. I've almost got it. Oh, there. Oh, the pin is in place. That ought to do it.
Nice work, Dr. Crump. It's a pleasure to watch you work. I don't know how you do it.
Oh, skilled hands, Dr. Jarvis. Skilled hands.
You're too modest, Dr. Mavis Crump. It's more than skilled hands. It's also dedication.
Yes. Dedication and patience and years of training and practice. And knowledge.
We all admire you so much, Dr. Crump. You're the only doctor in the profession who can get those pesky little pins into a new watch band that quickly and efficiently. You are a marvel.
Oh, I thank you, Doctor.
Even as that drama is unfolding, another is taking place in the office of Dr. Sidney Pembroke, the beloved old pathologist. Dr. Pembroke has some sad news for Dr. Silas Lemwitz.
Dr. Lemwitz, I have some sad news. Your wife, the esteemed dermatologist, stopped breathing this morning at exactly 6:18.
Is she dead?
Deader than a doornail, at least in my opinion. Your son, the noted neurologist, was with me when she croaked. He thinks she's dead too.
Oh, well, okay.
And a most interesting conversation is at this very moment taking place between Dr. Artis Blake and Dr. Vadim Glocksalot Sr., the beloved old pediatrician and military supply shop owner.
Dr. Blake.
Yes, Dr. Glocksalot Sr., beloved old pediatrician and military supply shop owner.
Have you seen Dr. Pratt this morning?
Why, Dr. Glocksalot Sr., have you forgotten? This is the morning Dr. Pratt must appear at court. Oh, for strangling Dr. James? Oh, the doctor who was in love with Dr. Pratt's twice-divorced daughter, Dr. Emily Upshaw.
Yes, I forgot. Who is Dr. Pratt's lawyer?
Oh, why, Dr. Glocksalot Sr., Dr. Thomas, of course.
Yes, I forgot. Who is the judge?
The notorious Dr. Wesley Tootle is the judge.
Oh, yeah, Tootle. He's a good man. Yeah. Well, care to have coffee with me in the doctor's coffee shop? Dr. Crump asked me to meet her there in the courtyard at noon, and, well, I thought I would get a cup of coffee before.
Oh, I'd love to, Dr. Glocksalot Sr., but Dr. Hempstead, the noted television repairman, is coming by today, so I've got to get home.
Yes, well, okay.
All the doctors of our lives.
Tune in to our next episode tomorrow when you'll hear
Emergency! Court 401. All personnel, emergency!
I wonder what it is.
Someone sick or something.
Should we just get hot water, lots of it?
Find out if he's got insurance!
I wonder what it is.
the doctors of our lives.
The ongoing story of life, love, divorce, death, jealousy, hate, degradation, squalor, antagonism, petty larceny, dictatorship, revolution, and downright warmth behind the scenes of a modern medical center. Yesterday, in our last episode, you may remember, we heard Dr. Gloxalot Sr. say,
Dr. Blake, care to have coffee with me in the doctor's coffee shop?
Meanwhile, in that very coffee shop, a new drama is unfolding. Dr. Piter, a crusty gal who runs the hospital cafeteria, who is famous for her apple pie and is
Secretly engaged to.
Dr. Jenny Why Not.
That's not with a K.
Dr. Jenny Why Not,
And that's not with a K.
who answers the phone and is an indispensable part of hospital operations.
I am an indispensable part of hospital operations.
Yes, well, in this episode, we will meet Dr. Lottie Pemstream, a doctor who is new to Weebury Hospital, but not new to the drama surrounding it. Dr. Pemstream is working to find a cure for the deadly harmonicas disease. Unbeknownst to everyone, she is actually the long-lost daughter of Dr. Pembroke, indeed a daughter of the long-lost variety. Her birth occurred in a cab while her mother, who was in a coma at the time, was on her way to Weebury Hospital. And ever since that fateful day, Dr. Lottie has been trying to find out who put her mother, who was in a cab at the time, into that cab and wrote the eloquent note asking that she be named Lottie.
Ever since that fateful day, I have been trying to find out who put my mother into that cab, who gave her Pembroke's disease, and more importantly, who named me Lottie. As God is my witness, I, Dr. Lottie Pemstream, the mysterious taxi baby, will find a cure for the deadly harmonicas disease, and I will change my name.
What Dr. Pemstream, the mysterious taxi baby, does not know is that she is the sole possessor of the gene which will cure the humanly created Pembroke's disease and get her mother out of the coma. Where we now join the doctors as Dr. Pemstream frantically rushes into the coffee shop calling, "Why? Why? Why?"
Ah, yes, that is the great question. It can sometimes be summed up with a simple turn of the phrase, which might include, but is not...
No! Dr. Why? Our indispensable receptionist. Where is she?
Ah, you mean the woman I am secretly engaged to? She's in the back.
Why? Why? Why?
Did someone call? I was in the back making crust for Dr. Piter, to whom I am.
Secretly engaged?
I see. Well, the phones are ringing off the hook, and I can't do my research into the cure for harmonicas disease with all that noise.
Oh dear, I must run off.
Always remember, I secretly love you.
Okay.
Our aware viewers will also remember that in yesterday's episode, we heard this.
Emergency! Emergency! Code 401. Code 401, all personnel, emergency.
Wait, Dr. Voice. I, Dr. Peter Pillsbury, want to know just what is a Code 401?
Dr. Pillsbury, Code 401 means there's a revolution in the courtyard.
But what does this mean?
Dr. Pillsbury, I'm afraid it means there is no way to get from our beloved Weeberry Hospital over to the world-renowned teaching college. The protesters have blocked all the pathways.
You mean I can't get over to the world-renowned teaching college, Weeberry U, for my afternoon lecture on the healing properties of radioactive spider venom?
You got it, Dr. Pillsbury. Now I have to fade off into the background. Emergency! Emergency! Code 401. Code 401.
As Dr. Peter Pillsbury enters the hospital coffee shop, he runs right into Dr. Pemstream.
Oof! Steady there, Dr. Pemstream, steady there. How is your search for the cure for Harmonica's disease coming?
Well, I can't do anything here. People shouting in the courtyard, people running in and out, making announcements, telephones not being answered. My mother is in a coma. I don't know who wanted to name me Lottie. I don't know who my real father is. And now my dog is pregnant with the neighbor's dog's puppies. She already suffers from low self-esteem, and now this?
Well, I'm glad you have it all under control. Goodbye.
Wait a minute. Why are you going out the window? As Dr. Pemstream, the mysterious taxi baby, looks out the window to see where Dr. Pillsbury is going, she notices the angry mob in the courtyard. Dr. Vadim Gloksalat Sr., the beloved old pediatrician and local military supply store owner, is helping Dr. Crump, the brilliant surgeon with the most skilled hands in the hospital, lead the masses in revolt. Let's listen.
Listen up! We must end this tyranny! Down with the bureaucrats who would enslave us! Come to my military supply shop. This coupon is good for one free item of your choice. Discounts do not apply.
Thank you, Dr. Vadim Gloksalat Sr., beloved old pediatrician and local military supply shop owner. Thank you for supporting our cause.
Yeah, that's all right. It's the least I could do.
Now, we need to let those in charge know there will be no more shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
We need to let them know they can't build a wall over our eyes.
No.
They can't bamboozle us.
Bamboozle, no.
They can't get out of the way.
Just get on with it, will you? I have to get back to my remote lab.
All right, then. What do we want?
Democracy!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Democracy!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Democracy!
When do we want it?
Now!
Tune in tomorrow when you will hear Dr. Lemwitz say,
I know. Let's take a look at this parasite in our new microscope, the Dr. 3000.
welcome back to
All the Doctors of Our Lives.
the ongoing story of life. Love, divorce, death, comas, jealousy, hate, degradation, squalor, antagonism, petty larceny, dictatorship, revolution, and downright warmth. Behind the scenes of a modern medical center. Yesterday, you might remember, there was a revolution going on in the courtyard, separating Weeberry Hospital from its teaching college, Weeberry U. Dr. Pillsbury is on the roof. Doctors Crump and Gloxalot are rousing the mob in the courtyard to a fever pitch. And Dr. Pemstream is stumped by the dreaded harmonicus disease. A short time later, in a remote lab, we find Dr. Boss saying to Dr. Lemwitz and Dr. Jarvis,
Dr. Lemwitz, Dr. Jarvis, I have important news, very important news. A patient, Dr. John Reed, came into this lab some time ago with the strangest parasite. It seems to be some sort of mutant form of tick.
I know. Let's take a look at this parasite in our fabulous new microscope, the Dr. 3000.
That's a wonderful idea, Dr. Lemwitz. I'll just roll out the fabulous Dr. 3000 from its secret hiding spot so we can place the parasite on a slide and...
No!
What?
I said no. That is just what this parasitic parasite wants us to do.
What are you talking about?
According to the deceased Dr. Reed, this particular parasitic parasite only attaches itself to doctors who look at it under fabulous new microscope.
What?
I said, according to the deceased Dr. Reed, this particular parasitic parasite only attaches itself to doctors who look at it under fabulous new microscope.
Humph! Humph! Now how is that possible, boss?
What?
I mean, humph! Humph! Now, how is that possible, Dr. Boss?
That's better. It could happen because the fabulous Dr. 3000 is so powerful. And it jumps. 203 doctors did not remember. If that happens, we'll have to... Even that might not be able to stop this parasite.
Oh, dear! Do we know what this particular parasitic parasite is called?
It hasn't got a name yet. It's up to us to stop it and name it.
Wait, you say Dr. Reed is dead?
Yes, sadly, he died early this morning, exactly 6:18.
Strange. 6:18 is the exact time my wife, the noted dermatologist, stopped breathing. I wonder if the two events could be related.
Dr. Lemwitz? This is a hospital. Things like that happen all the time.
You're right. Well, with Dr. Reed gone, we will never find a cure for this parasitic parasite.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute! Before he died, Dr. Reed handed me this crumpled piece of paper. I thought it was trash and put it in the pocket of my scrubs. Maybe it contains a clue. Yes! It seems to be a clue. It says, Dr. Pembroke's long-lost daughter, Dr. Lottie Pemstream, the mysterious taxi baby, holds the key.
Dr. Pemstream is Dr. Pembroke's long-lost daughter, and she has a key. We must find her and see what it opens.
Okay, then. We must find Dr. Pemstream.
As Doctors Jarvis, Lemwitz, and Boss race in different directions to find Dr. Pemstream, Dr. Emily Upshaw, who works in the hospital coffee shop, arrives at work tired and in despair. I'm so tired and in despair. Tune in to the next episode when you'll hear Dr. Pembroke say,
Don't you fools see what's right in front of your collective noses?
welcome back to all the doctors of our lives. The ongoing story of life, love, divorce, death, comas, jealousy, hate, secret engagements, degradation, and all those other wonderful things. Yesterday, You remember there was a revolution going on in the courtyard, separating Weebury Hospital from its teaching college, Weebury U. Dr. Pillsbury climbed onto the roof. Doctors Crump and Gloxalot are rousing the mob to a fever pitch. Dr. Pemstream is stumped by the dreaded harmonicus disease, and in a remote lab, Dr. Boss, Dr. Lemwitz, and Dr. Jarvis were stumped by the parasitic parasite, and then they rushed off in different directions to find Dr. Pemstream, the long-lost daughter of Dr. Pembroke. Meanwhile, in the luxurious corridor outside Dr. Pembroke's lavish suite of offices, we find Dr. Mitford peeking through the keyhole into Dr. Pembroke's office.
Dr. Mitford, what are you doing peeking through that keyhole into Dr. Pembroke's lavish suite of offices? I thought you were with your sister, the famous brain surgeon who is in a coma with Pembroke's disease.
Well, I
knew it. I knew it. I knew you were just trying to get away from me with that very clever ruse.
No, I was in my sister's room. But then as I was going through her records, I discovered something strange. So strange that I had to come up and confront Dr. Pembroke. I had to.
That is what I love about you. You never stop searching for cures for strange and rare diseases which have put loved ones into comas.
Yes, I won't rest until I can bring my beloved sister back from the depths of...
Just then, the door to Dr. Pembroke's lavish suite of offices is flung open, and we hear...
Lies! All lies! Get out! Get out! Get out of my office! The fabulous new microscope, the Dr. 3000, is impervious to parasites. And I don't know where Dr. Pemstream is.
Steady there, Lemwitz.
Dr. Preston, Dr. Mitford, what are you two doing here in the luxurious corridor outside Dr. Pembroke's lavish suite of offices?
Oh, never mind that. Dr. Lemwitz, what's happened?
Why, I was just appraising Dr. Pembroke of the situation surrounding the death of Dr. Reed. I was telling him about the parasitic parasite which seems to enter the bodies of doctors by way of the Dr. 3000. When he went off the graph and threw me out, I never got to tell him that as we were looking into the situation, we also found evidence that Pembroke's disease is humanly created.
No.
Yes.
You don't say.
I do say, and it may have originated right here in this very hospital.
Wait a minute. Are you saying that Pembroke's disease originally originated in this very hospital?
Yes, that is what I am saying. Pembroke's disease originally originated in this very hospital.
Did somebody say my name?
Dr. Pembroke. We were just talking about the mysterious Pembroke's disease, which has been putting so many doctors into comas for so many years. We think we may have found evidence that it was man-made. It may have been created by a doctor. A doctor in this very hospital.
Really? Man-made?
Yes, that is what we have found.
Oh, how interesting. Pembroke's disease is man-made.
Yes, that is what the evidence points to.
Ah, but who? Who could have done such a thing?
Who could have done such a thing?
It is a mystery.
It sure is.
Sure is.
Yep, a real mystery.
Don't you fools see what's right in front of your very collective noses?
What's that?
I said, don't you fools see what's right in front of your collective noses?
But doctor, the only thing I see in front of my nose is you.
Exactly, Dr. Dimwits. I created Pembroke's disease. I named it after myself. I put all of those doctors into comas. I did it! I did it! I did it all! And I'm not sorry.
This is This is so unexpected.
Of course it is. You pedestrian doctors don't have the sense to see looking behind your own narrow ideals.
Why, Dr. Pembroke, beloved old pathologist at Weebury Hospital? Why?
Because all my life, I have wanted to run a hospital. I have wanted power over life and death. I have wanted to bring order to the chaos that is a modern medical facility. And now I can put you all into comas.
What?
I said I shall put you all into comas. Then I will rule over all of you. And if you move, I will kick you. Be very gratifying to my ego.
Tune in to our next riveting episode when we hear Dr. Preston say,
No, Dr. Pembroke, I cannot let you harm a hair on the head of my beloved Dr. Mitford.
Welcome back to
All the Doctors of Our Lives.
that ongoing story of all those wonderful descriptors. Yesterday, you remember, there was a revolution going on in the courtyard, separating Weebury Hospital from its teaching college, Weebury U. Dr. Pillsbury is on the roof. Doctors Crump and Gloxolot are rousing the mob to a fever pitch. Dr. Pemstream is stumped by the dreaded harmonicus disease. Dr. Boss and Dr. Jarvis are looking for Dr. Pembroke and Dr. Pemstream. And in the luxurious corridor, outside Dr. Pembroke's lavish suite of offices, Dr. Mitford, Dr. Preston, and Dr. Lemwitz have just found out about the origin of Pembroke's disease and Dr. Pembroke's megalomaniacal plan for Weebury Hospital. Meanwhile,
I, Dr. Peter Pillsbury, am making my way with great agility and stealth along the ridgeline of Weebury Hospital. Using my powers of stealth, I make my way just like Spider-Man. As I carefully crouch on a narrow pipe outside an unusual tower room located at the top of the medical building, I overhear a rather strange conversation.
Dr. Typewriter.
Coming. Yes.
Where are you?
Yes, Dr. Caesar. Oh.
My faithful secretary, we have a problem.
Yes, I know. That angry mob is in the courtyard.
Confound the angry mob. Just look at this. Just look at this.
Why, Dr. Caesar, it's your Jello.
Yes. And what color is it?
Green.
Exactly. I wanted red Jello. Hurrah! Where is my red Jello? The food in this hospital is abysmal. Something must be done. Go over to Weebury U and see if they have any red Jello in the cafeteria.
Well, there is this kind of big thing happening in the courtyard, and it's blocking the way over to Weebury U.
What? What is blocking your way over to my red Jello?
just as Dr. Typewriter is about to answer, Dr. Peter Pillsbury falls through the window and into the deep pile carpet covering the floor of Dr. Caesar's tower offices.
Oof. Who are you? And what are you doing on the ledge outside my window?
I am Dr. Peter Pillsbury, and I was on the ledge because I could not make my way to the courtyard because of the revolution.
The what?
The revolution. You know, when an ogre comes to town and people grab their torches and pitchforks.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I've been trying to tell you, Dr. Caesar. An angry mob is trying to take over the hospital.
The protesters want to overthrow the dictatorship and create a true docracy, which will allow all doctors to be truly free here at Weebury Hospital.
But those lunatics are blocking the way to my red Jello. How is this possible? I am the most handsome man in this hospital, and that is why I made myself the Dr. King.
You the king? How many people know about this? Hey, wait a minute. You aren't the most handsome man in this hospital. In fact, there's another doctor here at Weeberry Hospital who looks exactly like you, Dr. Mitford. In fact, if I didn't know any better, I'd say the two of you were...
Yes?
Meanwhile, back in the luxurious corridor, outside the lavish suite of offices belonging to Dr. Pembroke, Dr. Preston exclaims,
No, Dr. Pembroke, I cannot let you harm a hair on the head of my beloved Dr. Mitford. Quickly, luckily for you, while I was studying medicine, I also became an expert snake charmer. Quick, Dr. Lemwitz, Dr. Mitford, run! Run while I mesmerize Dr. Pembroke with my cobra gaze.
Foolish, foolish woman. There is no such thing as,
As Dr. Preston, the expert snake charmer, holds Dr. Pembroke in her cobra gaze, Doctors Lemwitz and Dr. Mitford rush down a nearby corridor.
Whew, that was a close one.
Yes, it's a good thing my beloved is an expert snake charmer. But hey, wait a moment. Where are we? I've never been in this corridor before. Where does it lead?
Looks like it goes up to the top of that unusual tower. But why would there be an unusual tower in a hospital?
Tune in to the next episode when you'll hear Dr. Mitford exclaim,
I have a brother?
Welcome back to
All the Doctors of Our Lives.
the ongoing story of life, love, divorce, death, comas, jealousy, hate, secret engagements, degradation, squalor, gluttony, antagonism, parasites, petty larceny, dictatorship, revolution, and downright warmth behind the scenes of a modern medical center. Yesterday, you may remember, there was a revolution going on in the courtyard, separating Weeberry Hospital from its teaching college, Weeberry U. Dr. Pillsbury is on the roof. Doctors Crump and Gloxalot are rousing the mob to a fever pitch. Dr. Pamstream is stumped by the dreaded harmonicus disease. Dr. Boss and Dr. Jarvis are looking for Dr. Pamstream. And in the luxurious corridor outside Dr. Pembroke's lavish suite of offices, Dr. Mitford, Dr. Preston, and Dr. Lemwitz found out about the origins of Pembroke's disease and Dr. Pembroke's megalomaniacal plan for Weeberry Hospital. Now, while Dr. Preston charms that snake, Dr. Pembroke, Doctors Lemwitz and Mitford have unwittingly stumbled into the spiral corridor, which leads to Dr. Caesar's lair. And in Dr. Caesar's lair, Dr. Pillsbury was privy to the private conversation between Dr. Caesar and his secretary, Dr. Typewriter. Now, meanwhile, in the hospital coffee shop, Dr. Emily Upshaw once again arrives to work, tired and in despair. Hi, Dr. Emily Upshaw, am once again tired and in despair.
Bollocks! I, Dr. Floyd Bitterman, have painfully burned my hand while attempting to prepare myself a decaf latte. It hurts like the dickens.
Here, Dr. Bitterman, let me help you. Does that feel any better?
Oh, much. Why, you're an angel.
It's just my job.
Marry me, Dr. Emily Upshaw. Let's run away from this terrible place that assigns brilliant medical doctors work in the coffee shop.
But, Dr. Floyd Bitterman, where would we go? And what about my father's habits of strangling my suitors?
That is a problem.
Just then, the chants of the angry mob in the courtyard filtered through the cafeteria.
We must end this tyranny. Down with the bureaucrats who would enslave us. Come to my military supply shop. The coupon is good for one free item of your choice. Discounts do not apply.
Thank you, Dr. Vadim Glaksalot Sr., beloved old pediatrician and local military supply shop owner. Thank you for supporting our cause. Everyone, grab a coupon! Now, what do we want?
Democracy!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Democracy!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Democracy!
When do we want it?
Now!
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I, Dr. Floyd Bitterman, have an idea. Dr. Emily Upshaw, if you and I make our way out to the courtyard, mingle with the angry mob, and then quietly slip away into the Weeberry U parking garage, where we will find my custom-made Saab, we can steal away from this awful place and never be heard from again. Why, we could drive to Brazil.
Oh, Dr. Bitterman, I have never been to Brazil.
Would you like to go with me?
Okay. And so, Dr. Emily Upshaw and Dr. Floyd Bitterman make their way into the hospital courtyard where the mob is getting angrier. Oh, but no one is angrier than Dr. Lottie Pemstream, who is having a real bad day. Now, the chants of the angry mob are giving her a migraine.
What do we want?
Democracy!
When do we want it?
Now! Just as the angry mob is about to answer Dr. Crump's question, Dr. Pemstream rushes into the courtyard yelling, Oh, be quiet! Be quiet! Be quiet! Just shut up, will you? Shut up, shut up, shut up!
But Dr. Pemstream, angry mobs intent on revolution always chant loudly and intensely. It's our job to disrupt business as usual.
No, I can't stand it anymore. With all of this yelling, I will never find the cure for Harmonica's disease. Why, all of this noise is enough to wake my mother out of her coma. At that very moment, Dr. Boss and Dr. Jarvis look out a second-floor hospital window and see Dr. Pemstream in the courtyard yelling at the angry mob.
Wait a minute! Isn't that Dr. Pemstream in the courtyard? What is she doing yelling at the angry mob?
Dr. Reed's note that said that she had the key. We'd better go and save her so we can find the key.
As Dr. Jarvis and Dr. Boss race through the corridors of Weeberry Hospital, a most amazing discovery is taking place just outside Dr. Caesar's tower office.
Wait, Dr. Mitford, wait. This can't be right.
Let's try knocking on this opulent and ornate door. They might be able to tell us where we are and where Dr. Pemstream is.
I don't know if that's such a good idea.
From inside, we hear,
Who's there?
Then from outside, we hear,
2 lost doctors.
From inside,
What?
Typewriter. It must be the waiter with my red jello. Go and answer the door. Answer the door.
Come on, Dr. Mitford. I think we better get out of here.
No, I can't. Something strange is compelling me to stay. I must know what is behind this door.
What do you two think you're doing knocking on Dr. Caesar's ornate door? Hey, wait a minute. Dr. Caesar, how did you get in the corridor so fast?
This isn't Dr. Caesar, it's Dr. Mitford.
Who? I told you, silly Dr. King, you are not the most handsome man in this hospital. May I have the pleasure of introducing you to your brother.
Brother?
I have a brother?
Tune in next time when you will hear Dr. Blake say,
Since Dr. Hempstead, the noted television repairman, had an emergency cable set up and had to cancel my appointment, I think I will join Dr. Gloxalot Revolution in the Weeberry Hospital courtyard.
welcome back to all the doctors of our lives. The ongoing story of life, love, divorce, death and comas, downright warmth behind the scenes of a modern medical center. Yesterday, you may remember we heard Dr. Blake say,
Since Dr. Hempstead, the noticed television repairman, had an emergency cable set up and had to cancel my appointment, I think I will join Dr. Gloxalot Revolution in the Weeberry courtyard.
things seem to be converging on the lovely courtyard separating Weeberry Hospital from its teaching college, Weeberry U. Meanwhile, as Dr. Upshaw and Dr. Bitterman are rushing through the courtyard and corridors, they pass an open ICU door and they hear,
Was that my daughter's voice I heard?
Who was that?
I don't know. Come on, Dr. Bitterman. We must get to the parking garage so we can drive to Brazil. Just then, Dr. Jarvis and Dr. Boss careen around the hospital corner and they rush right into Drs. Bitterman and Upshaw.
Oh! Dr. Upshaw, Dr. Bitterman, we need your help to save Dr. Pemstream from the angry mob.
Why?
She holds the key to the cure for Pembroke's disease.
What?
Oh, don't listen to them. Dr. Bitterman, come on.
Did someone say Pembroke?
Who's that?
I think it is the woman who has been in a coma for the last 27 years. But come on, Dr. Bitterman. We must find you a sob and get out of here.
Isn't she the patient of Dr. Blake? We'd better find her and let her know Dr. Coma is awake. Come on, everyone, let's go!
As I said before, all roads seem to be leading to the lovely courtyard separating Weeberry Hospital from its teaching college, Weeberry U. Meanwhile, out in that very courtyard,
As I said before, it is our business to disrupt, and disrupt we will. I want to thank Dr. Crump for opening our eyes to the tyranny. Dictatorship must never be tolerated. Docracy is the only way to govern a hospital. We must find the evildoers, have imposing their will on all of us, and convince them to change their minds. And if they won't, we'll blast them.
be quiet! Be quiet! Just please be quiet! Meanwhile, out in the luxurious, deep-pile, carpeted corridor, just outside Dr. Pembroke's suite of offices, Dr. Pembroke has broken free from Dr. Preston's cobra gaze.
Ha ha! I have broken free of your cobra gaze by using my pocket mirror to reflect the cobra gaze power right back at you. Everyone knows that when a cobra gaze is deflected by a mirror, it becomes twice as strong and it lasts twice as long. You will be frozen for at least 53 seconds. Now, Dr. Preston, well, I'd love to stay and chat, but I have business to attend to on the roof. I will make my way to the hospital roof, where I will gleefully shower the unsuspecting protesters in the courtyard below with a high-powered, powdered version of my dreaded Pembroke's disease, using a multi-phase and multi-directional bazooka, which Dr. Gloxalot unwittingly sold me behind the counter from his military supply shop.
We hear the sounds of running feet as Dr. Pembroke makes his way to the roof. And then we see Dr. Emily Upshaw and Dr. Floyd Bitterman try to negotiate the throngs of angry doctors blocking the way to the Weeberry U parking garage.
Do not despair, dearest. Hold tight to my hand, hold tight, and I shall guide you safely to my Saab.
Don't let those who would tyrannize us see us waver. Hold tight to your ideals, and we will win.
Oh, for the last time, I am asking you to be quiet. If you don't, I will be forced to do something desperate.
It is that very desperation that makes us strong. We will win.
Yeah.
We must win.
Yeah.
We have to win.
Take up this desperation and lift it over our heads in defiance. Take it up, I tell you.
Hey, wait a minute. What are all of you doing? Dr. Crump said to lift up your defiance, not me. Just as the angry Dr. Mob is lifting Dr. Pemstream over their heads, Dr. Jarvis and Dr. Boss reach the courtyard.
No! Put her down! Put her down, I tell you! She holds the key to the cure for Pembroke's disease!
It's ridiculous!
Hold her high! It's her desperation that will shield us!
Put me down! Put me down! Oh, put me down! Meanwhile, Dr. Emily Upshaw and Dr. Floyd Bitterman have broken through the angry mob and are quietly and stealthily making their way to the depths of the Weeberry U parking garage.
Careful there, my dear. We must not injure ourselves in the 11th hour of our escape. We are almost to my Saab.
I am traveling with as much stealth as I am able. My dearest Dr. Bitterman, lead on, lead on. Meanwhile, in that corridor, outside the ornate door which leads to Dr. Caesar's office, that very Dr. Caesar has a revelation.
I, Dr. Caesar, have a revelation. If no one can get me red jello, then I shall get it myself.
Wait, Dr. Caesar, there's an angry mob in the courtyard. I mean, you can't
be
just...
quiet, typewriter. I am Caesar, and what Caesar wants, Caesar gets. Now get out of my way.
We'd better follow, or he may be torn to pieces by that angry mob intent on revolution.
Yes, he may be an egomaniacal, self-centered egomaniac, but he's my boss, and I can't let that happen. Quick, he went that way.
Hey, wait a minute. I have a brother?
As Dr. Mitford follows Dr. Typewriter, Dr. Lemwitz, and his long-lost egomaniacal brother, Dr. Caesar, down to the courtyard, Dr. Pillsbury notices Dr. Pembroke rushing down an adjacent corridor which leads to the roof.
Hey, isn't that Dr. Pembroke making his way down that adjacent corridor, the one that leads to the roof? He looked mighty suspicious. What do you think we should do? Guys? Hey, guys. They have already gone. Looks like it is up to me to follow the suspicious-looking Dr. Pembroke, just like Spider-Man.
Meanwhile, drifting out of the open ICU door, we hear,
Hello? 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 Is anyone out there? Can somebody please answer me? Hello? I think I was in a coma, but now I'm awake. Just hello. Is anyone there? Hello? Hello?
and in the depths of the Wee Bury You parking garage, Dr. Upshaw and Dr. Bitterman have located Dr. Bitterman's custom-made Saab in parking bay 27.
Here it is. Get into my wonderful Saab, my wonderful Dr. Upshaw. Allow your tired self to sink into the custom leather cushions of my amazingly wonderful Saab 9000.
Why, Dr. Bitterman, this is amazingly wonderful.
Isn't it? We shall travel in style to Brazil.
As Dr. Bitterman guns the motor of his amazingly wonderful Saab 9000, the mob in the courtyard is getting even more and more desperate.
That's right. Hold her high over your heads as a symbol of your desperation.
No! Put her down! Put her down!
You heard that! Put me down! Put me down! Meanwhile, Dr. Pembroke is on the roof, loading his bazooka with the high-powered powdered Pembroke's disease dust, which will put everyone below into a coma. But he is unaware that Dr. Pillsbury is creeping up behind him with great stealth.
I, Dr. Peter Pillsbury, must be very quiet, for Dr. Pembroke looks like a man who is up to no good.
Ah, it is wonderful to be a man who is up to no good.
I knew it!
Why, I have enough high-powered, powdered Pembroke's disease here to put the entire city into one large collective coma. All I need to do is get it packed into this bazooka here, right?
Meanwhile, Doctors Caesar, Typewriter, Lemwitz, and Mitford have reached the hospital courtyard.
Out of my way! Out of my way! I am Dr. Caesar, king of the doctors, and I must get over to Wee Bury You cafeteria to obtain my red Jello.
King of the doctors? There is no king here. Grab him!
Which one? There are 2 of them.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Isn't that my sister waving at us from the window of the ICU room? And why are you holding my niece over your heads?
Only the real Dr. Mitford could recognize his sister, the noted brain surgeon who has been in a coma for 27 years. Get the other one.
Wait a minute. My mother is awake? Put me down! Put me down!
Why didn't someone tell me my patient was awake? I'm warning you, if you harm a hair on the head of my boss, I shall be forced to use my taser.
You fool! Don't taser them while they're holding me up!
Wait a minute. Isn't that Dr. Pembroke on the roof? Why is he laughing? And why is he holding a bazooka?
Just as the crowd is looking to where Dr. Mitford has pointed, Doctors Upshaw and Bitterman
drive out of the hospital garage and start across the overpass, which will put them on the highway to Brazil. We hear Dr. Upshaw exclaim,
Wait a minute. Isn't that Dr. Pembroke on the roof?
Well, it sure is. And why is he holding a bazooka? And why is he laughing?
Oh, no. It looks like he's going to use stuff, that wonderful new product we've all been hearing so much about, to release a deadly pathogen onto the crowd below. Dearest, we cannot let that happen.
And we shall not. Beloved, I am just in the right position to drive my amazing custom-built Saab 2000 directly onto the roof from this overpass. We may be harmed in the process, but at least we will be together.
Yes, dearest, we must do whatever it takes to save them all.
will Dr. Floyd Bitterman and Dr. Emily Upshaw save the revolting mob? Or will Dr. Pemstream's very presence protect them from the deadly pathogen which Dr. Pembroke is going to spray onto the courtyard? Will Dr. Caesar ever get his red jello? Will the doctors ever get true docracy? And what about the parasitic parasite, waiting to invade all beings by way of the Dr. 3000? Tune in next time when you'll hear Dr. Lemwitz say,
"You mean my wife is alive?"
And Dr. Pillsbury say,
"If I use my newly activated radioactive spider powers and much stealth, I may just be able to grab that bazooka."
And Dr. Boss say, "But I thought I was the boss." And Dr. Blake, whose patient has been in a coma for 27 years and has just come out, say, "You mean I can get more channels with a dish than with cable?" And Dr. Glocksalot Sr. say,
"I'm sorry, sir, that coupon cannot be doubled."
And Dr. Pieter and Dr. Y say,
"I am an indispensable part of hospital operations, but I must go."
Oh, please remember, I secretly love you.
And Dr. Jarvis say,
Dr. Crump has the most skilled hands in the hospital. Maybe she can disarm it. We have to at least try.
And Dr. Caesar say,
I have a brother. Maybe he can make me some red jello.
And Dr. Pembroke say,
"I'll have you know I am not sorry."
And Dr. Crump say,
"What do we want?"
And Dr. Pemstream say,
"All right, angry mob, turn around and head toward that wall."
And Dr. Midford say,
"A lot like you. Wait a minute. Who are you? And why are you wearing my face?"
And Dr. Vadima Glocksalot Jr. say,
"In that my paw on the ground?" "Oh, I know, Bertha. We gotta get to him fast."
"He may need the help of a CPR chicken." That concludes our very special St. Olaf's Day weekend marathon radio presentation of
All the Doctors of Our Lives.
brought to you by Stuff.
Thank you for listening. This is radio station NPR TT coming to you from the veranda of historic Frog Pond Manor, nestled in the wetlands of sunny downtown Wilsonville in the heart of the beautiful Tualatin Valley. Once again, thank you for listening. We now return to our regularly scheduled programming.